Welcome back. This is KD Drummond of SB Nation, and today we're going to talk about the important off-season dates that are getting ready to come up for your NFL. Now, actually, the date of franchise tagging is now open as of February 18th. You have a window between the 18th of this month and the 4th of next month for teams to designate one player as a franchise player. And basically what that means is that they are going to be receiving a tender that would pay them the average of the top 5 players at their position over the past season. Now, obviously, this is a move that is intended to keep players from hitting free agency. If you have that one stud player that's not under contract that you don't want your team to do without in the upcoming season, you slap the franchise tag on them and they're good to go. Now, obviously, this is a tender and the player would have to sign it. It's basically saying that they agree to it. If not, they could possibly sit out a season, but they would not be able to sign with another franchise. Also going on this week is the first opening days of the NFL Scouting Combine. Now, quiet is kept. This is not the only combine that players are able to go to, but this is the big granddaddy of them all when all of the scouts for all of the teams are in attendance, all of the GMs are there. And this is pretty much going to be the dog and pony show, as we like to call it, the Underwear Olympics. And you'll also be treated for the 15,000th consecutive year of watching Rich Eisen run the 40-yard dash in like 7 minutes. So, outside of that, it'll be very interesting to see a lot of the prospects that are kind of on the fence as far as what teams think they can do if they run great 40 times, if they're good in the agility drills, if they're good in the the routes for the receivers and the precision for the quarterbacks. This is all in advance of the individual pro days that players will attend for their individual colleges. Now, also what goes on this offseason is, for the first time between March 9th and March 11th, there's actually going to be a 3-day window of negotiation between teams and free agents from other teams. Now, obviously, if it's a free agent on your team, you can negotiate this entire offseason with that person. You can sign them at any time. But there's actually going to be a window when you're allowed to go and talk to a player from another team before the league year actually opens up. Now, on March 12th at 4 p.m., that's when free agency actually opens up. Teams can actually ink players to those contracts. You have to be under the salary cap by this time. There's a bunch of other things that go on this day, but really that's the main focus is March 12th, 4 p.m. That's when all the moving and shaking is going to start to happen. Now, following that, the annual league meeting is actually going to be between March 17th and March 20th this season. So that's when you're going to see a lot of the rule changes get proposed, and they'll go, they'll hammer it out. The competition committee will be there, and all those sorts of things. And then later on in the off season, in late May, they'll actually put a lot of these things to vote at the NFL spring meeting and say whether or not they're going to be implemented for the upcoming season. Now, of course, the big thing of the NFL offseason is an NFL draft. It's become a 3-day affair. It's going to be held in New York City, Radio City Music Hall, between April 25th and April 27th. And I advise you to make sure you pay attention. Subscribe to SB Nation and SBN NFL for all of your coverage for the NFL draft. Is going to be bananas around here. We're going to have wall-to-wall coverage of everything you need to know from this point forward about the draft. So make sure you subscribe. Once again, this is KD Drummond bringing you the calendar for the off-season NFL moves. Salute.